Coming to you from Strings and Things Studio in Ventura, California, this is the Strings Unraveled podcast.
Hello.
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 You know what, guys? I think this is episode 20.
I think you're right.
I just looked. Not counting
That's
our
cool.
book clubs and stuff.
2020.
So what are we working on? Let's go first.
I'm working on so many things, but I don't want to go first.
Karin, what are you working on?
I am currently working on a test knit for Hunter Hammerson. It's a hat. And actually I've got two things. I'm working on two test knits. One of them, I'll have to look up her name. Gigi Alagom is her Ravelry name, and it's a really cool stranded work sweater that's coming out, and she's got like 15 sizes.
Wow.
Lots of sizes.
Oh, that's your pretty turquoise.
Yeah, turquoise with sparkles. It actually has sparkly.
Was that the one you
bling.
were working at?
Yeah, the one with bling.
It was your Forbidden Fibers yarn? Mostly.
Yep.
Is it all Forbidden Fibers?
It is all Forbidden Fibers. I've got most of it is Pride with a little bit of Gluttony in two colors.
Just a touch of gluttony.
Just a little touch of Gluttony.
Well, if you only have a little Gluttony, you should be proud of that.
Well, is it really gluttonous if you only have a little bit of it?
Yeah.
Excess is gluttony.
A little bit of gluttony is still a lot of something.
Yeah.
That's right.
All things relative.
All things relative. The hat by Hunter Hammerson, and I'm using up stash. For a while I was getting caught up in the Plucky Knitter updates, and here's this yarn, and I'm gonna make something with it. And 4 years later, I'm actually using some of it with some leftover stash. It's gonna be a fun hat. It has a fun it's mostly stockinette, but it has this fun detail where you'll skip 3, knit 1 through the back loop with the yarn in front, and then 4 rounds later you'll dip under and pick it up and put a twist in it, and so you've got this little zigzaggy look. And the gray background is really letting. What color is this? Was that the Paris Night?
Mm-hmm.
Wells Road. That's it.
No, Paris Night's more navy, I think.
Yeah, Wells Road has little pops of purple and dark teal and a little bit of pink in there, but it's showing up nicely.
Pretty.
So did you get a choice? Because I know isn't she doing like a collection right now? Or
well, I'm for this test knit I opted to pick. There's dots and there's zigzags.
I really like dots.
And you
the
can do
dots
it.
Is very cute. But
Yeah, I have my choice. Really, she said I could do anything, but because she let us have the option. But I said I'm good for either. So I chose. So she said, "Well, do you mind doing zigzags?" I'm like, "Nope, don't mind," because I'm gonna go back and do the dots. Mm-hmm. What the thing about the dots? I don't know if you saw. I'll show you. It's not just dots, but you go back later with a strand of yarn on the outside, and you just kind of feed it through the dots.
Well, that was her recommendation.
That was just for blocking.
Yeah.
Oh, just for blocking?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Because I was watching her
I thought
progress.
it was a design thing. So
It probably could be. But she sped it through to like keep the dots.
Yeah, it was
pronounced.
to keep them.
To keep them from getting sucked into the void of stockinette.
I love how you're just like very calmly, guys. Did you see the strings that came through it later? I mean, did you see that? I was like very calm about questioning.
I'm not questioning her design.
No, the taste. My taste. Just me.
Oh, I wasn't taking it that way, but okay, sorry. Sorry,
it's
not
a cool
sorry.
Hat either way.
I amped it up.
Whatevs. Yeah, see what else? That test knit, this test knit. Feels like I've got more. I guess I'm mostly working on sewing stuff right now. I'm working on more quilt sewing. I've had a couple.
Talk about that.
I've had a couple quilt classes that I just continued. I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I actually finished one of these? Okay, I've got a couple of quilts that I really, really want to get to, but I won't even let myself shop for the fabric until I finish some of what's on my plate.
That's a reasonable thing to do.
Also, I don't have much space for anything more, so I kind of have to finish. That's my carrot. It's the Quilt As You Go hexagon, only I'm filling it with little tiny micro beads.
I think you talked about that last podcast.
Yeah, I'm actually to the point where I'm probably going to finish it up this week.
Cool.
Possibly tonight after everyone goes.
How much is it going to weigh?
About 15 pounds.
That's good.
So
I read somewhere that a weighted blanket's supposed to weigh 10% of your body weight.
yeah, so that's a little less than that for my husband, but I kind of feel like 10% of the body weight for some people could still be a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's only going to be about 12 pounds because I still have some beads left, and it was a 15-pound container.
Well, it looks like a fun project.
I've got that in the pineapple foundation paper piece
Can
quilt.
you tell us about that? Because I only saw like a glance of your colors, and I think they're gorgeous. Like that seafoam green that's going through all your pineapples.
I questioned my sanity when I did that one because I thought, what was I thinking?
Don't ever do that.
No, it's just so. I just thought.
Don't question your sanity.
Okay, so it's this pineapple style where you get, I don't know how to describe them, different shaped, progressively larger parallelograms going out from the center of the center square shape. And for the background, I use that Tula Pink monkey business that's all like bright, really bright.
Is that where the bananas came from? Like,
yeah.
Because I want to dress in that, in the green bananas.
In the green bananas. It's just super fun. And I wanted something that was not just a cream background, because they have, sometimes you get a print that's really fun, but it already is on a cream background. And I found instead a seafoam green, which is not in any of the shades, but is bright enough to be a background that'll highlight. Because, I just don't like when you have, 80% of your pieces really pop, and then 20% just sort of they fizzle. So
it almost glows with the other.
It's just so bright. I'm wondering.
So much.
I don't know where it's going to go or who's going to get it when I'm done. It's just I'm doing it for the experience.
It's
I like the foundation paper piecing. In this case, none of the strips are on a bias, so I don't have to worry about that. But there's a lot of leeway if I make a little bit of a mistake, if things not exactly perfect. I square up the extra fabric off as I go, so it all looks fairly good.
Cool.
And in my class, the gal who did it used the Tula Pink with the sugar skulls and the death head moths and all that. It looked amazing. So
cool.
That's what I've been doing. Next.
Well, I am not working on... I went back and listened to what I talked about last time, because I was like, what the heck was I working on? I've pretty much abandoned, I think, both of those projects. But I'm working on the Strange Brew, which I did talk about last time. This is my second... Technically, it's my third Strange Brew. This is the one that I'm knitting along with my class. Which is, it's got like a geometric pattern at the yoke. It's a cream background with like a rusty orange color with a little pop of teal that I'm going to throw in at the hem and at the sleeves.
That teal is very nice.
Thank you. So I'm knitting away on a large cream bunch of knitting, and it's very boring.
Do you think of a better way to punish yourself?
Well, no.
It could be black. Oh,
it could be pure white. That would be really boring.
Oh yeah, that would be bad.
I'm trying to knit the body as fast as I can, because I've created a system for myself, because the other thing I'm currently working on is my swallowtail sweater, which is what I want to be knitting. It's much more fun, and so as long I've made myself a rule that's like, if I can keep up with my class to have this finished by the end of our class, then as long as I've like done my homework for the week, I get to work on my fun project. So I have to finish the body by Saturday. It's Monday.
How many inches?
You're almost there.
It needs to be like 18 total, so I might be halfway.
And you started the belly at like on Saturday-ish?
I started the body on Saturday.
It's only been 3 days.
Yeah.
You'll do fine.
I want to work on my swallowtail.
Yeah,
so,
but what size needle but what size needle are you working that on?
An 8.
See, that was the thing about the the test knit I'm doing for Gigi is that I've got 16 inches of body, and it's like on size 4s.
That's going to be my swallowtail when I get into the body, because I think I'm using 4s for that too.
So I was really happy when I got to that, but it's not the stockinette. It's like 26 inches of 1 rib.
26
No,
inches.
no, 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 no. Sorry,
inches of
26
1
rows. It
feels like.
It feels like inches, but it's rounds. It's like
It's funny.
1, 1, 1, 1. It's
Yep.
like, what can I do to make this faster? Nothing, because that'll change the gauge. So stick with it.
Yeah. So those two
sewing
sweaters.
Alrighty.
Wait, those are finished things probably.
Yeah, I don't have any big like sewing projects I'm currently working on, but my swallowtail, which I started, I just like happened to have the perfect yarn in my stash that I got from the stash swap. So whoever donated it, I'm using it well.
And not letting it languish.
No.
It's becoming.
Last year from the stash swap, I knit 2 sweaters out of that yarn. So
That's awesome.
this year is, starting off well. And depending on how fast I knit, I might finish this sweater in February, which will give me 3 of my 12 for the year so far. When I finish this, it will give me 3 of my 12.
With it just in 2 months, so you're a month ahead.
One of them was already half done.
But you're still a month ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm ahead because I knew at some point it will slow down because the swallowtail is going to take a little while.
Summertime.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's
gotta
good to
get
have
through.
a lighter weight sweater to work on in the summer.
Do you have like a criteria of like length of sleeve? Like
No.
would a tank top count?
I don't have any rules. I am open to changing them, but I think they have to be adult size sweaters for me. Maybe
Yeah.
near the end of the year, depending on how it's going, I will change my rules. And I think they have to be like actual. No, a top would be fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to have sleeves. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go.
What a good way to do it.
But that is all I'm working on. Anne, what are you working on?
So I have like a mountain of things that I'm working on. I still plan on doing a make 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have started on some of the things that I intend to be my make 9 in for the year. Or I'm approaching starting on them. Like I talked about dyeing my yarn for my Pearl Soho sweater. So that's a start. That's a sincere start on that project.
What?
Last time I talked about like when we talked about our dyeing.
Dyeing her perfect yarn.
I found my
to go
color
with.
combo.
Oh, okay.
All right. So just for accountability, Alexander's sweater is still being worked on.
You complain about my large cream sweater.
This is more interesting than
so.
cream. Va is prettier to look at than boring
so.
cream. But it is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I've also been on the cream journey before. It's not as long as that, but it was on size 3s. It was the whole like top half of the sweater
Okay.
that I'll get back to.
So which is harder, the cream journey or the black journey?
You I knitted my other Strange Brew in black, and it didn't feel as boring as this, but that's also because I didn't have the pressure of really wanting to work on something else.
And you were working towards the fun.
Yes.
You were not.
I'm not working away from the fun.
It was like fun's done.
I've done all the fun yoke, and now I just
you're
gotta
in
finish the
boring
freaking
land.
body.
Okay, so I am still working on Alexander's sweater. He has given up on me getting it to him in any realistic time, which is not fair because it's a big sweater and he's a big man. I got this book, Japanese Wonder Crochet, and it's all normal crochet, only like with a fresh perspective on it. Like this is a cluster stitch that I'm going to talk about. It has crocodile.
Do they have different terms?
No, but
what makes it Japanese?
Well, just like knitting patterns. The knitting patterns, they don't really have different terms either. It's
just the way it's constructed and stuff.
Like the whole pattern for the thing we're going to talk about
the
is
layout's
2 pages.
different.
It's all a chart and like 3 sentences.
That's the Japanese part.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's very like a different
Charts.
a different take, very chart oriented. I'm really excited about mosaic.
And probably a different like design aesthetic too.
Crochet.
Oh, I like mosaic.
I'm really excited about a different design aesthetic. So just from the Japanese point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm making the lap blanket.
That is so cool.
It was an inexpensive book too. It was $16.
That's cute.
For a whole book, that's not bad.
bound book. So I found 12 or something stash yarns that I had 100 grams of different worsted wools. 6 of them were a Cascade 220 that I planned
literally
to be
a lap
something
blanket.
else. Yeah, mine's going to be much bigger. Because I have like double the yarn they ask for, so I want it to be like a full size.
Because it only fits across your lap when you're sitting, not down. Just
the pattern calls for fingering weight yarn too, so that puts it in perspective the tiny little lap that it's on. Because my 4-inch squares, like I have 4 by 12, so they're 12 square rows of this like. It's a half double cluster in a V stitch. So they look, the pattern is designed as looking like little pussy willow puffs. And it's all randomized. And I love it. And I'm trying to weave in my ends as I go. So
nice. 2
of the 4 strips I have the ends woven in and I need to weave in. And while I was going great guns on it last weekend, like a strip a day about.
That's pretty good.
So I'm working on that, and I will definitely make other things out of that book.
Yeah, it's
but
a
this
cool
was
book.
all stash yarn. It was my own stash.
Not from Stash Swap yarn?
One thing was from Stash Swap last year. I have a brown in there that's really nice.
But once you get to the year mark,
it's definitely mine.
I'd say it was after 6 months.
It was definitely mine. I think it's Eco Wool, the green that I have. Then I am working on the Baker's Twine. And I don't know if I should count this as a finished project or not. Because I have 5 of them finished. I talked about it last time.
You've finished 5 of them.
Yes. But I have 2 more to make a set, I think.
Got it.
Except I lost one of the colors and that's making me mad. Like it's driving me a little nuts. Because it's very arbitrary.
And what is this stuff made from?
It's 100% cotton. This is all Stash Exchange yarn.
It's so squishy.
It's wonderful. It's 2 strands of like maybe sport.
Is it hard to knit?
Not bad.
Because it's kind of dense, right?
Yeah, it's not bad actually. It's not as fast as it should be because it is cotton and 2 strands.
Feel how squishy this is.
Oh yeah.
So Baker's Twine. It's a cute little washcloth where you do garter stitch and then you double knit 4 stitches, and that creates this really pretty column.
Does it feel really nice on your face? By washcloth, you mean facial washcloth or just dish washcloth?
Here.
Oh, dish washcloth.
You know,
so not for
hypothetically as a sponge replacement.
So if I'm in the bathroom holding it to my face.
That's okay. Because I really, really like this Baker's Twine pattern because I love how it's just garter stitch. And then something fun happens.
But I like the eco-friendliness of using, instead of sponges, using cotton.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for this missing. I'm missing one.
So did you size it up into a blanket?
Yeah. So I turned it into a blanket.
Girl.
And it's really cute.
That is very cute.
It is really cute. What a great baby blanket.
So soft and squishy.
Yeah. It's a wonderful texture.
It's cute.
Oh, wow.
It's better in the cotton. But this is like too cheap acrylics.
But that's like
great
a
for
chenille,
some baby.
right?
One's like, it's a baby chenille. I think it was called, I think it's a Bernat yarn that was called Tiny Blanket or something.
That's what gives it that creamy texture.
Yeah. And then I have like a Karin solid with it, which is, for acrylics, it's a pretty soft.
Yeah.
So the Karin's acrylic, or it's not from the new cotton?
No, it's not the cotton cake.
The cotton cake.
Which those are mostly acrylic too, I think.
I think they're 60-40 or something.
Okay, so Baker's Twine, I'm doing a lot of that.
Cool.
I am working on the Bang Out a Sweater. So I have one that is 8 inches in. I talked about this a little last time, that I'm making it out of this delicious 50% alpaca, 50% merino, blue sky alpaca yarn.
Yummy.
Yeah.
I have the sleeves done on it already. And
seeing how much progress you made from yesterday on the second one, that'll
so
be
I'm not
going to
talk about the second one.
Oh,
we'll see. So we still have a lot more things to talk about.
True.
No, it's not true.
No.
I can't, because I'm going to do an I-cord bind off. It's my own bad.
Well, we can go with you last.
Okay.
Can you finish an I-cord bind off in the time it takes for Karin and I to talk?
But I have one more thing I'm working on, and this is where my
working
downfall is. I keep talking instead of knitting. So I got my Bob's Burgers minis from Plank and Stella. And I found the perfect sweater. It's the perfect sweater to me.
Yeah.
It's called Gracious, and it was a free pattern. Has a fair amount of sizes, and it's like a color blocked A-line sweater.
Okay.
I'm gonna show the girls a picture here. I'm not really familiar with the designer. I think it's pretty well written, though.
And it was a free pattern?
Free, yeah. Espace Tricot.
Oh, I've heard of her.
La Knitterie Moderne.
Do you have enough in the mini skein set?
For a whole...
No.
Okay.
It is... I mean, the yardage is uncertain for each size. It's a 400 yard, 100 gram skein all the way until the last two sizes. Specifics. No. So, but the stripes should be, this kind of looks like Neapolitan ice cream.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Oh, that's cool.
The stripes look
Super
like
wide.
they're planned to be equal size. So I'm going Louise onto Jean. Why can't I think of her middle? Tina, thank you. Louise, Jean, Tina, Linda, and Bob. It's like they were my own children. I couldn't think of the name.
Like yellowy greeny one?
That's Jean.
My Jean looks different than that.
They do look different. Because
Okay.
I was looking at your balls wound, and they are different. So
Yeah.
it looks like the mini set. She really, I mean,
Like
this might be
rebate.
true, but she really planned it kind of to feed
Got
into
it.
each other.
Because my set, I have the whole set of the family, but they don't really go that well together.
But these like feed.
Yeah. Because
So.
in mine, like Louise is like the outlier, and the
Yes.
rest of them work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Louise, I think, is going to play better because the yellow-green is very yellow, so it works well with Jean's
That looks
yellow.
great.
So I'm very excited about this.
Yay.
And it's going, this is actually,
Is it
I've
like a
been
round
knitting
yoke?
my bang out the sweater. Yeah, it's a round yoke. Well, I've been doing my bang out a sweater challenge of doing 2 of them. I snuck this in for one evening, and this is one evening's worth of knitting. So I have my ribbing done and about 2 or 3 inches. I just see that I worked one stitch where I only caught one thread.
That sucks.
It's going good, though, other than that. Don't knit tired.
Yeah.
I was talking about that with my son, and I made a mistake on my bang out a sweater, which is, to review, it's a Mason-Dixon field guide pattern called, to review, you should really know what you're going to talk about. Main squeeze cardigan. And I made a mistake. It's a very easy pattern that's knit 1 row and then 1 by 1 ribbing, alternating. And I shifted my ribbing because I was knitting tired. And I was talking to my oldest about that while I fixed it. And he's like, oh yeah, knitting in the dark is a bad idea too. And I was like, are you making fun of me? He's like, no, I really do that. He's like been knitting in the dark to go to sleep. Made me so happy. So those are the things I'm working on. I hope you guys have a lot of things you finish because this
have very few.
You guys won't wait if I do a shameless plug.
You
when,
can
when
talk
when it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Yeah.
What have you finished,
talk
Karin?
for a long time.
Well,
no, this is a good plug.
This is a good plug. Okay, so last time I thought that my make 9 would be publish 9 patterns in the 12 months because I figured 1 a month might be pushing too much.
That's why it's 9 and not 12.
Yep.
And while I did nothing in January, I did 2 in 1 week this month. It's a short month, and I published 2 patterns.
That's fantastic.
One was a pattern that had been just languishing, waiting for a tech editor, and technically it had been tech edited, but apparently there was a lot that editor did not do.
Like, I want to know more about what it was. Because you said there were some issues and your eyes got big. And I was like, but we also peer edited it.
Well, I think that my eyes got big at the sticker price.
Oh.
But also, but part of the sticker price was paying someone to add sizes to my pattern. And so she had to understand how it goes
So
more
she
than just the
edited
numbers.
and graded.
She edited it and added 2 sizes because I've decided that I'm still working on my old garment patterns, and many of them are not owned. I mean, I have the rights, but I haven't put out my version of it so that I'm actually making any profit on Ravelry. The publisher's still the one who's.
So when you change, just to go off subject for a second, when you change those patterns over to you,
it has to be my layout and my photos.
Okay, but you don't have to rename it, or
it's actually better not to rename it because that just creates confusion, which is a bummer because I had some great names to begin with and it got changed without. They can change the name to whatever they want it to be.
The renamings have never made sense to me.
So
ever.
Well, once it's established, it's kind of established, and I don't want it to lose. It gets confusing if people have it in their library as one name and then you change it to something else. But so the Pure Sweater Wrap, which I posted, is really because I needed to get it done because there was a class, and then of course the class is not happening. But at least it's one of those that looks much better on a human than on the hanger.
Yeah.
One of our customers calls it a hanger dog.
Yes,
it's great on a person, but it looks like a dog on a hanger. Yeah. And that is true. It needs a human body to fill it in. The other is the Dora Milaje. Dang it. I pronounced this so well all the time I was typing it up, but now I can't. It's a crochet cowl inspired by by Okoye and her forces from Black Panther. And I was super, super happy that a friend of mine was able to model for me. She's like a nationally known person and super, super busy. And I was just super happy that Dr. Diane White Clayton, you should look her up and listen to her music. She's fantastic.
What kind of music?
Mostly choir music. Mm-hmm. And she's got a Kickstarter out right now because she is recording. She's reworking some old hymns and putting them that were gospel style and make things that would have been normally a choir and making them as solo versions and reworking the music, and it's beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, so that's on Ravelry right now. The Dora Milaje cowl and the Pure Sweater Wrap. And as far as finished objects, then of course I finally finished some samples, like the Knit Night Shawl by Tammy Gore, which
really
is
cute.
Gorgeous.
Tell us about the yarns you used.
What was that? There was 3 yarns, and I believe they were trying to look at the they were from Yarn Love. Pretty sure. It's like one of those I hold on to the labels, and then once the project's done, I stop thinking about the labels, and I sometimes clear them out. So I'm pretty sure that was, I wrote my notes on there, that was by Yarn Love, and they're 3 different, one's like a tonal plum with a tonal gray and a multicolor blue that has all these sea colors. And it has some short rows with simple lace. It's very beginner friendly. It's got some garter stitch, a simple increase, and it's a nice big triangular shape.
How'd she name it that? Because it's got some interesting design out.
So the Knit Night, it's one word. Knit Night, KNITNIGHT, one word. The idea is that it's a simple enough project that you can work on while hanging out with your fellow knitters at a knit night at a yarn shop or coffee shop or wherever you're at. It's got enough details to be interesting without being completely boring, but simple enough that you can focus on your knitting and the conversation around the table. Mm-hmm. And I like a lot of the designs by Tammy Gore, Tamy Gore.
What else have you made by her?
I've got a lot. That might be the only thing I've actually made, but I got a lot of stuff in my queue. And I favorite the hell out of her stuff.
Nice. That's
so, a good way to... finished stuff. I think that's mostly the finished stuff. Oh, I did finish a sewing bag, and it looks fabulous. And then I used it. And word to the wise, if you're going to make straps and you're going to fill the bag really, really full of stuff.
That's what bags are for.
You have to make sure you use the right kind of, don't use faux leather. Going through the airport, every one of those things snapped.
Uh-oh.
Even though I
like
had...
a rivet?
No,
What
the
snapped?
fabric. The fabric just went rip. And so on the way home, I'm at the airport carrying a ginormous duffel bag under my arm in mermaid color fabric, and nobody noticed it. Who doesn't notice mermaid fabric on a bag?
Well,
I don't know.
People who don't into themselves when they're getting ready to get on an airplane. But I loved your pictures of it.
Yeah, that was on the beginning of the trip. But you know, it's not. It just didn't survive the trip from the train to downtown, walking a few blocks, and then on the way up and then on the way back we're going downhill, and I could feel the fabric is bouncing, and the straps really shouldn't be bouncing when you're walking.
Can you repair it?
I can, but because I have to basically take the stitching out, take the lining out, take all the stitching out, maybe use real leather, not just decorative leather for straps.
Maybe, or
I definitely will, but right now it's in the I hate you.
Oh, I would.
I don't want to touch you pile.
Okay, can you?
You're beautiful, so I'm not putting you away. But I just can't talk to you yet.
Did you tell everyone about the bag that you were talking about when you were happy with it? Like, have you talked about it?
Did I talk about the bag?
I don't know.
I think you should tell us about the bag because I'm over here crying for Karin right now because the bag was amazing.
Let me pull it up. It's talk about more while I pull it up, Katie. What else do you have?
Well, is this the one with the shiny
iridescent?
Yeah,
yes.
It's like a sling bag.
Not a sling bag. Right? It's like a duffel, like a luggage duffel bag.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of a different one.
And it has black faux leather accents. And it has the faux leather straps. But I used stuff that was mostly garment faux leather.
Where did you get it?
Joann's.
Because Fabric Town sells like a faux leather strap that seems like it's pretty sturdy. I've used it before.
I may do that, and maybe what I'll do is I will just cut off what I can and sew on top of it.
Yeah.
And rather than rip out all the, I still have to take the lining out, so I'm not sewing through my pockets.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
You have to get in a very
my accents are fine. I even made piping out of this faux leather, and it looks great.
I have a bag.
Not that it wasn't fun making piping with faux leather.
No, I hate making piping.
I love making piping, but I wish I'd had a Teflon foot at the time.
I made a bag once that was like a big giant tote bag, and it was at the end one of the straps was twisted, but I was like, it's for me and I don't care, and I'm not fixing it, because it's the same thing where it's like I'd have to take apart the lining and like open it up and then open up this top seam, and it was a whole lot of headache for me, just being like, you know what, if this were for somebody else I would be really mad, but I don't care.
But it's usable the way it is.
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely.
Karen's problem sounds not usable.
Like you don't want to just carry around a big duffel bag like a baby.
It's your underarm bag.
A baby would have been so much easier to carry and would have been a lot smaller.
You need one of those little rolly luggage cart things for it.
It's an oversized clutch.
It's like like carrying triplets under your arm.
Oh my god.
It's just
all right. I'll check with my friend Emily and fact check.
Let me find my picture. Hold on, it was beautiful. How do I not? I thought I posted pictures on Instagram.
Oh, I hope it wasn't. It might have just been your story. Yeah.
Oh, dang. Well,
I am wary of the
If you find a picture of it,
you know what? Well, I've got pictures in my. Let me go to my photos.
Do you recall who the bag's by?
Yes, So Sweetness, SEW, Reisenbag, REISENDE, Reisenbag. That's
Not
the name of the bag.
Poisonous powder that you get from.
Not Reisend, with a D and an E. It is a great bag.
Rescind?
Huh?
Rescind?
Reisend.
Okay.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm defensive about this kind of thing. Just like I was.
Defensive about what? Pronunciation?
I was crocheting at a comedy night. And then the comedian decided to heckle me about it.
Ooh.
And
I don't think a comedian can heckle the audience. I think it's the other way around.
No, he picked me out and he goes, "What are you doing in the middle of my set?" And he called me out. I'm like,
having more fun.
He goes, what are you knitting? And I said, it's crochet. He's like, oh, we're all defensive now about the crochet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and?
Yeah.
Who has that comic so we can look at him?
Look how pretty.
Okay, yeah.
See, what I'm showing them is this picture of this gorgeous iridescent green and teal and blue.
Yeah, I think you put that on your story. Because I remember seeing it. Well, that's very upsetting.
I mean, those straps look like they ought to be fine.
I saw them in person. They looked well constructed.
Huh.
They're double. They
So where did it break?
Right where it's attached to the bag.
But I mean, can I see?
The fabric literally ripped and snapped and one of the straps is only hanging by the mesh.
So you have a piece that's connected to the bag that ends in some sort of buckle?
Yep, 4 of them.
And it broke. It didn't disconnect from the bag, like the strap itself broke?
The strap itself at the buckle.
Huh.
Just under the buckle. But,
weird.
You know, whatever. I still have the buckles. And look, I even put eyelets in there.
Yeah, I see that.
Eyelets are great.
It looks like a lot of work.
So the straps with the eyelets work.
But
the
it's
ones
just a
attached
weak
to the
point
bag.
where it's attached to the bag.
Yeah.
Could you, if the straps that are connected are fine, are they sewn over the top of the bag?
They're sewn right onto, yeah.
So could you take them off without upsetting anything on the inside? Like, could you just seam rip them off?
Yes, I can seam.
Because I'm wondering if you just insert like a little loop and a D-ring into that seam up there, so you don't have to put the whole thing back on.
Well, the part with the buckle is not attached anymore.
No, I know, but I'm saying if you take the old part with the buckle off,
yeah,
and you just make instead of connecting it to the whole bag, you just make a little loop that's inset into like a seam with the buckle.
I'm not getting.
I'll explain it later.
Yeah, anyway, Katie will have to draw a diagram.
Pictures.
I'm wondering if that would be easier, but I understand.
I was thinking of a multi-step program so that you could get a new bag.
But I'm not done enjoying this bag.
Because I was going to say step 1 is...
I kind of love and hate it at the same time.
To go to a covered fire pit and to bring...
A cover what?
Covered fire pit. Bring some lighter fluid. Set it on fire.
Give it
and then shop for some new yarn.
Like a Viking funeral?
Yeah.
No, she still wants the bag.
She wants it.
I want the bag. I'm just not ready to... It's the problem child you love, but you're still angry and pissed at, so you can't talk to it yet.
I was King
But you're not going to kick it out of But you're not kicking it out of the family yet, or ever. But you just...
Ever. That was very meaningful. Are some of your children
or ever
being kicked out of the family?
I just don't want anyone to think that I would ever kick my children out. Okay. But there
Maybe
are
for a
times,
little while.
There are times where I'm like, I just want you to sit outside on the porch in the dark and don't talk to anybody. Let the cold sink in to how you behaved. But that never happens.
We were lamenting that we can't have a cat because my wonderful husband is allergic, and I tried to trick my son into getting a kitty at PetSmart. And taking it to his girlfriend's house, where they do have kitties and love animals. And he's like, no.
Wow.
And he would not fall for this trick. And so I was just looking at the PetSmart animals on Saturday, and I called him to see if he
was Randy still there?
Oh, I don't know which one was Randy.
He was a little black kitty cat.
That's probably the one I wanted.
Is
bad.
he still there?
No, he's long gone. That was he was really tiny.
Yeah.
And so active.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted
it. That's the cat I tried to
my
check out.
cat.
It's fine. I come visit it.
I've been thinking about Randy for weeks because I saw him at PetSmart, and he was little and skinny and black and so active, and he was so cute.
Oh my God! I
realized
Randy
what you missed out.
Oh,
You should have talked her into.
I was this
Randy,
close, but James wouldn't let
and then
me.
you could come visit.
Oh, Randy. I hope Randy's having a great life somewhere.
Yeah, I do too. Because Randy is going to be somebody's baby, and 100%
he was so
that
freaking
person's
cute.
baby. Because that's why Alexander said no. He didn't say no because taking a random kitty to his girlfriend's house sounded like a bad idea. It's because he wanted that kitty to be his kitty, and if he took it to his girlfriend,
Randy was very charming.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
So there were these 2 kitties that I wanted that were like sister kitties. Maybe I didn't look. I try not to learn a lot about them because I
read all the things.
But see, you could have another kitty.
I could.
Yeah.
Well, if they're sister kitties, you have to have them both because you can't split up kids.
No, I did one time. the 2 cats that we had at my mom's house, there were 3 in the box, and I took 2.
Oh,
well,
Yeah, I'm a bad human being.
and you never know what happened to that other cat.
Well, it was gone by the time we came back out with all the goodies.
I guess
for
I
the
do
2 kitties
understand
we're
that
keeping.
because I mean, what
3 cats for when I was going back to my mom's house, who I did not have permission to take any cats to. But it just
That
seemed
is a
too
lot.
much. 2, I figured
Still,
I could
2
do.
is pretty bold.
Yeah. 2, I knew I could get away with. That's what older siblings
3 is just
are
too
for.
much.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Older siblings are to teach you where the edges are, and I knew where the edges were.
My husband was the baby of the family, and his siblings use that to their advantage.
Oh.
They're like, "Mom will tell us no, but you're cute, and they love you more."
Oh,
so,
really to their advantage.
So why don't you go ask for this?
Yeah.
Yep.
I might have used my little brother that way occasionally.
But then they complain later. Well, see, you got all the good stuff. Well, only because you pushed him to ask for it.
Yeah. Something I love. I mean, youngest children, I think, might be primed to do that already. Like, that's something I see in Marabella that I really admire, is that she is willing to see something she wants and ask for it, whether or not it is socially appropriate. So if anyone was with me, it was there at Roxanne's several weeks ago. It was Super Bowl Sunday. And I wandered into their sale with Marabella, and we were having a great time in Carpinteria. And we shopped and picked fabric for things, but on the way out, she loves to ask if anything's free places. And she's asked there several times. And the people have given her things. Like, they had little stress
like
ball
a sticker or something.
star,
Oh,
yeah, or
wow.
a postcard or something. But it's very rude, and I want to murder her when
Or
she
they-
does it.
Do you have anything free?
Yeah, like to go into someone's store, especially a fiber art store, and ask if there's anything free makes me mad.
Oh, that's so
Can you
funny.
imagine? Like a little kid wanders up to you at Anna Kappa.
I would have given them something.
like a staple.
I would not.
Something.
I would have given them nothing.
I know.
Because I am the heartless
I'm not a mom.
I am the heartless mom that would not do that.
You would have explained that's rude. And
I would have. I would have said,
This
no.
is a business.
I would have
We're
given
here to
them
make
like one of
money.
those little labels that we stuck on the green bags with a sticker or something.
Then they would ask every time. Katie,
Yeah,
that's
and I
how it
would give
works.
them to them.
Oh,
I'm not a mom.
no. Those are expensive stickers. So anyway, and I haven't like...
No, Lois, we would
squelched-
not have given your stuff away.
I haven't squelched her every time because sometimes she's just too fast for me. I'm like, what are you talking to that grown up about? And then they give her something. So, but this time Roxanne was at the counter and she had a kind of trying exchange with a customer ahead of me. I've never really met her, but I knew it was Roxanne.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you are not going to ask the owner of the business if anything
free
is
things.
free. So she like hears me but doesn't hear me, and the transaction
so
goes. And then Mirabella's like, excuse me? I turned her little tiny chin to me, and I looked her deep in the eyes, and I said, and there's a few women around me, including the owner, and I said, if you ask that question that you're about to ask, we are never coming here again. Or you are never coming here again.
Yeah.
And all the people around me got very quiet, and they're like, what
is she gonna ask?
Right?
Dang, I want to hear it now.
And then Bella got serious and really heard me that time.
Oh, that's
And,
so funny.
Was like, okay.
At least you were
didn't.
at least
She didn't
you were
ask.
able to.
But if anyone was wondering, if you
That
were
was a serious
listening-
mom voice.
Oh,
You
it
know-
was. It scared everyone around me. Like the sonar radius went out, and everybody was like, "I'm sorry. What did I do?" Or
I really like that
How
story.
mean is she? So, Katie, what have you finished?
I've not finished.
You brought a pillow out. Just right
Yeah, I
now.
haven't finished anything knitted. I've
Oh.
sewn a couple things. That's my excuse of. I wish I had finished something, but so I had a commission to make pillow covers for a friend's friend. She wanted to like replace the pillows on her couch, and I was like, yes, I can do that. Let me do it first for myself, and then I'll do it
Test
for you.
it out.
Yeah. So I made a couple throw pillows. This is the one that's in my office at the moment.
Cute.
Oh,
I
that's
saw it
so
on your
cute.
Instagram.
So I went to Joann's and I bought some like decor weight fabric. This one has little cactuses and pink little flower pots.
The
I
pom
have
poms.
I have curled pom pom stuff. I don't know why I bought it, and you are welcome to use it.
Pom pom
And
trim.
have it.
I think everything needs a pom pom trim now.
Absolutely.
Every pillow does.
I like to put them on
I
the
bought
bottom
it
of
with
Bella's
that
skirts.
idea, but
Cute.
I just never.
I think this is going to be a class, so, and it's also zippered, so you can remove the
lining, so you don't have to.
the
That's
pillow
so
if you
nice.
want to. So I made a couple of those. I made this one and a little one that's at home.
Is that going to be on the next schedule?
Yeah.
Yay!
And I made a couple
Keep
for
that
this
in mind,
customer
people.
who, because hers had like piping around the edges, like real piping.
So your pom-poms are your tests.
Yes.
So that.
And the one I made for at home has piping too. But the
Is that a lap
pom-poms are so
zipper?
much fun. A what?
A lapped zipper. No,
I don't
it's
know what
really
that
cool
means.
how you did it. A lapped zipper has like a little flap.
Oh, no,
that
no, no.
completely
This has
hides
like
it.
just a gap in the seam.
But I
that
like
it's
how you
set
did
into.
it. Yeah. So your trim is still.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, this is very smart, guys.
I can't take credit for it. Some very smart person put up a free YouTube video and I watched it.
Nice. I've never seen it
Thank you,
done
smart
that way.
people.
So I finished a couple pillows or pillow covers. And then I started my swallowtail sweater and I needed a new bag to put it in because that was exciting. So I made, which I also put on my Instagram.
That's so cute.
it's
With
okay.
the llamas.
What's
This
it
is
made
the
of?
same-
Zippered. I love that zippered.
This is the same fabric as the
that
pillow
cork?
Oh.
on the top.
it's
It's
cork.
like a decor weight fabric from Joann's. It's got llamas on it. And then I found Joann's has cork fabric, which I
Really?
didn't know, by the yard. And it was like
How much is it by the yard? Do you remember?
like $12.99 maybe, and I had a coupon, so it was like
Dang.
maybe I think I paid $7 for a yard of it.
That's
cheap.
awesome.
It's not like super thick or high quality or anything, but it was, and they had like a couple different styles. Maybe one with sparkles in it too.
How durable is cork?
I don't know. I've never used it before. This is the first time.
Really? For some reason, I thought you had them on bags before.
Nope.
Maybe I was just reading about it.
So I put that
that's
on the
nice.
bottom of it, and then I have a bunch of leftovers, so I made a little travel pouch.
Oh, and your zipper's gold. It's all
It's
pretty.
the same zipper. So this is the zipper by the yard that they sell at Super Buzzy. I think the brand is Sally Tomato.
Oh, okay. I
That's a
watch.
great brand name.
I watch her videos. She's got some really great.
I really love her.
I love her videos.
Zippers because you cut them to fit the size and they look like they're metal, but they're just really shiny plastic, so you
They're
can
not
sew right
metal.
over them.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
good.
Yeah,
I like
and
it.
they come in different colors. So this is gold with a white tape, but I have black tape with silver, and
You're
I feel like they
making
have
it
like a
very
rose
hard
gold.
Not to go shopping for fabric without
Sorry.
finishing projects. I
Be
really need
strong,
it.
Karen.
I need to finish those projects. I'm more motivated now.
Yep. Those are the only things I've really.
I don't think I realized that they had zippers by the yard there.
Yeah.
Where
got big
where
rolls.
is it in the store?
At Super Buzzy?
Yeah.
It's on the wall with the notions and stuff.
Huh. I'll have to look at the wall a little better.
They have a couple different colors.
It's hard
Do
to
they-
have a
do they have-
conversation with me in that store because we'll be talking and I like to make eye contact when I talk,
Uh-huh.
but then I just drift off
Yep.
and I start looking at the wall
There's a lot
and
of
I
good
might not
stuff
be
there.
focusing on what you're saying anymore because I really want to go see what's on the wall.
Mm-hmm. I always stand in front of that wall and think, what do I need? I don't need any of these things, but I really want them.
I want everything.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, are the Tula Pink shears micro-serrated?
I don't know. But
I
they
I thought
sure
that
are
was
pretty.
something that was like on your wish lists, respectively.
I have no idea.
I have the
I feel
Tula.
like somebody mentioned that to me
I have the
recently. I
Tula
was
Pink,
surprised
the
by it.
really tiny embroidery type scissors, which I
They have
love
like the big shears though.
because the very tips are super tiny. It's almost like there's a little cutout at the very, very last.
I need
half.
new, good, tiny sewing scissors.
Well, those Tula Pink ones are awesome. They're super sharp, but they're sharp all the way down, like a regular pair of scissors. But then the tips are really, really tiny, so you can get into micro space.
I need nice work scissors because my cute Eiffel Towers from Target. They were just
Okay.
welded together with a little pin.
Micro serrated 6-inch trim, 8-inch. Hold on. They have smaller ones that are micro
Are those
serrated.
Tula?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
but not the big dressmaking shear.
It doesn't look like it. It doesn't say.
Okay.
because I just thought that would be an interesting.
The small,
Thing
the
to have
6-inch
done.
ones looks like they are.
I'm going to go grab my big ones.
You have big Tulas.
Not Tulas.
Oh.
Not Tulas.
Are you talking about your Kais?
Is that what they're called?
The
Oh.
black handle with the metal.
Yeah, all I know is they are. Oh, hold on.
All she knows is they are something, and then she walked away.
Yep.
If you couldn't hear her.
I love good scissors.
Yeah.
Love them
These
so much.
Are the most amazing.
I think they're pretty great.
They're the most amazing shears ever.
They are super expensive, but I'm really glad I got them.
They're an investment.
They really are.
Oops, sorry, I dropped it.
They're well, you should talk about them, but I did use them to snip thread one day, or maybe corners, because I think I actually cut fabric, right?
Still they feel great?
Yeah, they do.
So Karin should tell us why they're the most amazing.
So I went over to Super Buzzy and I trying to get a new nicer pair of gingers, because I knew I wasn't going to get Fiskars. I mean, Fiskars.
Fiskars are okay.
Some Fiskars are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they're not a treat.
Well, not only that, but I find I'm going to have to keep buying them. Yes. I don't want to keep buying them. And I was going to get, and she says that she prefers not to do gingers. There's another brand that she likes better, and this was the one. And I'm like, $80. Oh my god!
I didn't know how much they actually cost.
But I'd saved up some money.
Because did you use your points?
And I had points, and she had a sale at the time, so
there you go.
I don't regret them though. They're really they feel great in the hand.
I would never begrudge someone for spending money on a good tool like that you're going to use a lot. Like I'm not going to judge you for that.
It's not a spring action, but they're so nice.
They're well made. They glide. They're light, first of all, because I love.
Yeah, they don't feel like they're heavy or anything.
High carbon molybdenum vanadium stainless steel with extra long edge life and high cutting efficiency.
Isn't that what they made Wolverine's bones out of?
That's exactly what I
They're
was
Wolverine scissors. Full length blade to grip design.
No, I think it's Edward Scissorhands.
Okay.
Novel duplex interlocking screw for lasting blade tension. Yeah, they do have a much more interesting, well, whatever.
They're very light.
Ergonomically styled and padded grip made of elastomer.
Elastomer?
Elastomer. I want to sound foreign when I say it. Soft plastic for see now if this were like a foreign language I could nail it, but these
English.
Weird
well, it's English made up words.
Would you like me to get you some scrap
No, I'm left-handed, so I was looking at them as a lefty.
Well, let me get you some fabric, and you can try them as a lefty.
No, it's fine. I was just.
We want to
see some scissors, or if the blades themselves are fatter, as a lefty, you can't see the cutting side of the scissors when you're cutting. Huh. So if they're, because it's happening over here, you know. So if they're like real chunky, then it makes it harder to see. But these are.
Here, I got some stash.
How did we get on the subject of scissors?
Well,
because you're looking for micro serrated.
Were you talking about supplies and
the things at Super Buzzy that we want to buy and zippers?
I was thinking about their pretty tulip pink scissors on the wall. That's the thing that catches my eye every time, and I love scissors.
So how much longer do we need to talk before you're ready?
Like,
wait, I have one more.
That's fine.
Don't worry about it. Okay. Tell us, Karin.
So
take us on a tangent somewhere.
Yes, please.
In the So Sweetness Sewing Patterns group on Facebook, someone was talking about scissors and how do you know, someone says, you know, I want to get these and I want to sharpen them, but can they be, some things can be sharpened, some things can't.
True.
So someone said, like the ones that have a shiny surface can be sharpened, the ones with a dull surface cannot. If you think of the Fiskars are dull, but these are not shiny.
Them.
Oh, you know what these are?
They have a shiny edge.
They do have a shiny edge.
They sell a sharpener.
But as far as long term, you may be able to sharpen those, but they're going to break down a lot faster.
Yeah. Every time you sharpen a blade, you take some material away.
But I was looking at the metal, and this is not shiny, but you're right, the very, very edge is shiny.
I don't know about that person's rule of thumb.
Yeah, because it's not holding true with this one.
Well, why don't we jump into our topic of the episode, and at whatever point you want, Anne, you're welcome to send us
break in and tell you about what I finished.
And tell us what she's finished. Okay.
All right, thank you. Let's do that.
So, Karin has invested in knitting the card game, which was a Kickstarter-funded project from last year, I think, is when they built it or whatever.
Who are they?
I don't know who made it.
It was
someone.
Some people. I don't know.
Some Instagram knitters.
Moon Rover Game.
Oh, it says on the front, Lacey something?
I'm not, you know me, I'm not pronouncing this.
Ziemkiewicz. Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I wonder what her Instagram name is, because I bet we would know her from that.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look up Knitting the Card Game, because I bet. Yeah.
So we talked about playing it on the podcast as our topic, but we gave it a try. Before this, we played around, and it doesn't make really great audio content.
Oh, it actually tells you about how long it takes to play.
Oh, 45? I would say that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's about right. 45 minutes. Ages 14 and up, 2 to 4 players. But we're going to find a way to make more players.
Yeah, it was fun. We liked... can I see her last name so I can Google it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a fun game. It was, like I said, it didn't make real great audio content because... You know, we'd have to describe literally everything.
The yarn is real. The patterns are real. The knitting is implied.
She's a game designer. So I don't know if she's the one that came up with the... Or if she's like
I bet if you do a search in the designer's board, you'll find...
Maybe.
But I'm only on 20% power, so...
So, can we... We wanted to do like a little breakdown of how it worked and maybe like a little review of the game itself.
Uh-huh. Should we start with our like star rating? Let's give it like a 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
Karin, what do you think out of 5
stars? Don't make me go first.
I have a problem with a lot of games. Like I have a low threshold for anything that's like too strategic because I'm really bad at it. So at the beginning when we were trying to get it set up, I was a little hesitant because it was the instructions were a little confusing as to how to actually get started.
Yeah.
The game itself is not hard to play.
They tell you how the play goes.
Yeah, it's
but they don't actually tell you how to begin.
To start.
Yeah, they need one more paragraph.
You know, choose the person who bought the game. Choose the oldest in the room.
Right.
Or roll a die.
Actually, look at your card and do this step.
Do you guys have a rule? You play games a lot to like determine who goes first. Do you have like a family rule?
No, we really follow like what the pattern decides.
We always did who pooped less. My brother came up with that.
Now that is
so
what
now
I
it's
do.
like we go around the table and think about it. I'm like, I think I get to go first.
Quietly.
I'm sorry.
Okay, when you
I don't want
someone new into
Sorry.
your family, how long does it take before they learn what the rule of
probably not very long.
I mean, you have to ask that question out loud, and now everyone knows. Well, I was good for about 45 minutes ago, but I gotta go now. So hold on, hold the game.
Okay, I'm so sorry for people listening, but I'm gonna go there. Like, it's no secret in my house because it's very small. Who pooped last? Like, that's not a secret.
It's not hard to find out.
No, and like we're very open about, because it's about your health, and also sometimes it's just about bragging. But
and also kids think poop is very funny.
Yes, we're pretty open about what's happening.
I have young adults in my house.
You don't think those boys think poop is funny?
Not so much anymore.
Oh, that's surprising. I find that boys of all ages think poop is funny.
Yeah.
This is not what we were going to talk about. Sorry, that was my fault.
No, but now I have a way.
Okay, to determine the beginning.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know where my brother got that from, but that's what we do.
It's just like Scrabble, pick a tile, highest tile, or closest to
right.
The next time we do our tabletop strategy games, that is exactly before you can determine and play your wizard card.
What did you do in D&D? Because I feel like I should tell this to Dante, who is having his D&D night.
I have no idea. Like, I don't know how D&D works.
Okay, yeah. So
I don't play that game.
Moving on. Me either.
Anyway, I have a low threshold for games and strategy games, but this was easy and I liked it.
Actually, because like Karin was talking it up, and she's like, "There's more to it. There's actual like strategy, and you have to kind of know things." And I was like, "Nope."
I don't remember saying that.
You said something like it.
I would give it like a solid 3.5. Right. It was easy. It was fun. It wasn't like, real engaging, or I like a good game that like gets people talking or like, engaging around the table, working together and stuff.
We did do a lot of oohing and eyeing over
the
some
fun
of the
part
cards.
also is is looking at the pictures and because there's pictures of patterns and real yarn and
I think I could be just as amused by just looking at all the yarn cards.
Yeah, just like, rummaging through all the cards.
Like that would make me. The gameplay was fun. I was gonna give it a 4. Because once the gameplay got going, it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
And fun.
I was thinking about it in terms of, like, could I get other people to play with this with me that don't care about yarn?
These are the 2 people in the world who will play this game with me, unless other people, come to the studio.
I play stupid games with people all the time I don't care about. They should play this with me.
But they're not going to.
I know.
I felt like I would probably have to trade, like, a game of Magic with my family to play this game, and I don't think that's
not worth it.
They're going to see, oh, that's purple. They're going to look at the color of the little
Well, they've
icon.
designed it well enough that anybody can play
Yeah.
this game. You don't know
Yeah.
you don't have to know how to knit to play.
But
You know,
it has
You're
its
it's
making-
more fun if you do.
You're making pairs and stuff.
Yeah,
of-
you're matching colors
matching-
and yeah.
I think that I have to say that there, and this is an easy thing for them to fix. The deficit is to get started.
Yeah,
that
do this.
statement's not
We
there.
sort of had to parse out from how you took a turn to understand, like, I guess this is how we start.
Yeah.
But once we got started,
And
it was simple.
It
And for
felt, it
knitters,
felt,
you do have to be that directive.
That's for some
like-
knitters, they do need all of the
it
instructions.
I
it
needed to
felt
know what kind of-
more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Once
Yeah.
we got started, we're like, oh, this is
Some
not hard.
parts of the rules are, like, really, really well-versed, or, like, too well-versed, you know?
Yeah.
And other ones,
And
I'm
other
like,
parts, it's
I'm
like, I don't
so literal, I
understand.
didn't know that I could use this card this other way.
Yeah. So
It's
let's
like-
talk about how the game works.
Okay.
So you are dealt pattern cards and yarn cards. And the goal is to
And
match
you
your
You have a
patterns
block,
with the specific yarns.
you have a blocking mat for your finished objects.
So you're matching up yarn with patterns.
Yep.
So your pattern card will tell you you need 3 skeins of purple yarn or whatever. So you're collecting cards to match your pattern, and then once you've made that match, you get to, quote, cast on.
Yeah, you can't cast on, you can't put any of the cards down for that pattern until you have all the yarn.
And each of the patterns has like a number of weeks that they think it would take to complete this project.
Which
and each
I think
turn
most-
is a week.
That's
Most of
actually-
those were actually kind of spot on, I thought.
I don't know,
Depends.
because like there were things that took a long time. I guess there must have been a criteria of like amount of yarn needed, amount of weeks spent making it to balance out the points. Because I didn't like Karin had a sock pattern that was a
3 weeks.
3-week knit valued at 15, and I think I had a sweater that was a 6-week knit valued at 15.
Was
and
it mostly
took more
stockinette?
yarn. Well, it took more yarn.
Yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't give you more points for that.
Yeah, so the hardness scale is
Maybe-
I don't know, like
Maybe for
there's-
some
sure there's a
people, the
term.
socks are considered harder projects.
Jelly rolls are not hard socks.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
And
I
all,
don't
but
know.
I mean, let's take it away from knitting, because like that was sort of fun to fantasize about. Like, here's this slip stitch thing that, okay, I agree, it would take me 6 weeks, but why is it only worth 15 points? Oh, okay, well, it only took 2 skeins of yarn for me to put this into play.
Yeah.
So like, if you look at, like, if you just think of it as like power strips or power bars, like your yarn powers you up to do it, and then it takes this long to complete
To
the
be able to
task.
complete it.
Like it didn't
But
seem like
most-
the points were equal.
I thought most of the 6-week projects were garments, and most of the ones I had were 20 and 25 points.
Well, by the end, when
Did
Did
I-
I?
learned 5
I
that
only
were worth
finished.
15.
I only finished one of those. I decided to go for
by the end
Quick.
when the game ended,
cheap points.
you have to collect a certain number of points. By the end, we were all pretty close in points, so
Yeah.
it seemed relatively well balanced. But it could have just been the game we were playing.
Yeah.
But
We're also being very nice.
yeah, we weren't being that.
Next time, not so much. I just
we weren't
put it
being
out
very
there.
cutthroat.
Good. All right. I like to. Karen's like, I will have 100% fun if I'm nice. I only
Challenge
have,
accepted.
yeah, I only have 33% chance of winning, but I can
Okay.
have 100% fun.
Because I realized that if I was trying to be strategic with a game that doesn't need to be strategic, in that let's say I had a garment that needed 4 purples, 1 green, and 1 cream. Well, I was trying to make the purples actually go together,
Yeah, that's not
like in real life.
Yeah, that was a little.
And in the
bit-
meantime, while I'm trying to make a perfect match in this card world,
you got to give up on that.
Anne's like, I just finished 4 projects. Here's my 5th project finished.
But I
And I'm
love
like,
it.
oh,
Karen's
okay.
like, Anne, you have so many things cast on. I'm like, yeah.
yeah.
And that's the
Back
point,
to
right?
real life. And there's fun things like the community cards, which we've chosen. We've dealt ourselves a fake hand of the cards, which I
But
think
we've
we're
chosen
gonna
not to do the community cards.
Yeah,
so
but
we don't
we're
want
not
to ruin
going to
those.
unveil those because for future gameplay, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'd like to not
see.
know.
We could talk about we want to talk about
What
the
we
ones
saw.
that we,
Yeah.
well, there's one special rule that was pretty fun.
Yeah, there's 2 rules. One of them, here, I'll read it. It says, bonus points for knitting in real life. If a player creates an FO in the game while knitting on the same pattern in real life while playing the game, that pattern's FO points count double. If a player creates an FO using yarn cards that match skeins they are knitting with in real life while playing the game, that's the same thing. They get to get a little extra bonus. So I got a card for a pattern called Ursa, which I just happened to have cast it on and actually
And in
almost
her hand.
finished
Yeah.
in my
Well,
office.
it was
so
in her
I
office. She stopped
ran
to
to
go
my
get it.
office real quick
I'm
and
sorry.
grabbed my sweater.
In her hard hand, because that could have
Yes.
ended up with any of us.
Yeah, I just happened to have that pattern and have been knitting that project in real life. So I went to my office and I got that sweater
And
I
that's what
finished.
won the game.
Yeah, and I won the game by getting those double points off of that. So that was a fun little thing.
So I have to say I'm like very impressed with the collection of patterns, like the collection of patterns and yarns.
It's a really nice it's a nice range of designers.
And I think that you could see, like I could see them easily doing expansion packs. So it's like a very smartly made.
Like
you
every
could
year come out with some new patterns
Yeah.
or something.
And I feel like for longevity of the game, you kind of need expansion packs.
Yeah,
I feel like
I'm not sure how many times you could. Well, I mean, it's different every time. For me personally, I wasn't paying that close of attention to what the yarn was I was using or what the pattern was. I was just making matches, so I could play it again with getting the same cards and not care too much.
I will say, when I did look at the yarn, almost all of them are indie dyers.
I think they all were.
Yeah, they're all indie dyers, so you're not going to see any regular. You're not going to see Encore. You're not going to see Malabrigo or Madeline Tosh. And some of the colors were really pretty interesting. Some of they were. I was more interested in the yarn cards because I'm like, ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
I kind of want to take it. I want to go shopping for that yarn in real life.
Yes.
It had to have been exciting as a yarn dyer or pattern writer to have your pattern featured because I bet it gives you a nice little boost from people who play the game.
Oh, I had a question. It disappeared.
Plus, there's colorways I was like, ooh, that's a pretty colorway. I did not know that existed in the world.
But nothing looked good together.
Yeah, it's like you have to pick 4 like yellow skeins, and so you pick 4, but none of the yellows like match each other.
No, and you're like, what an ugly thing this would be.
This would be a terrible finished object, but I'm gonna play it anyway.
Yep. Do we know how like the designers and yarns were selected specifically, or is that a mystery?
I think that's probably you'd have to go to the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I have that pulled up, so let me look.
Yeah, I believe it's in the video.
It's already been funded, and it's over, but
they might do it.
I actually got
it's
it.
Always good to follow something.
I actually got it. Yeah, I think I got mine off of Amazon.
Yeah,
after it was all done, but it wasn't that long after it was done. It was like Amazon must have.
Oh, they said that this edition is just the beginning. I have plans to work directly with fiber artists to create custom expansion packs and collector cards that will work seamlessly with the base game. But so this is just the base game, I guess.
So maybe she'll get more designers. Like I want to be a designer on there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't Pierre Sweater App look great in this game?
Yes.
Terry could be in the board game. That would be awesome.
You might want to double check on that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're wonderful pictures of her.
And it was okay. I feel like it was okay to publish them to Ravelry, but
also in the intent of how she photographed the pictures too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
Didn't we all sign model releases of some sort to each other anyway?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
That was so long ago.
Yeah. I can make up any story and
sure.
Yeah.
So you have my permission.
Thank you. So it's very cute. Like so once you have your match, you have progress keepers, and each turn you go, you can advance your.
You start each turn by knitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
you start each turn by knitting, right?
Yes.
We all had a lot of trouble with that, honestly.
However, it would be really easy to forget about that project and let it languish. And then a 3-week project could end up being a 5-week project because you forgot to knit it.
Yeah, so 1 week is
real life.
one turn, basically. So once it comes back around to you, you get to progress it another week. So if it's a bigger project, it takes, 6 or 7 weeks. And if it's a hat or something, it might take 1 week. Yeah. And then the points somehow reflect that, I guess. In some way.
I like that you could freshen up your
yarn
and your pattern. So like it was good. Like if you had I had stuff that was like, I'm not seeing these things turn over.
I don't want to do this.
I wonder what other like yarn requirement to points are in the unused pile.
I waited a long time for 5 skeins of orange yarn, but it was worth it.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Oh, part of the play too is you can choose to pick yarn from the yarn store. You could choose to pick up like when some of the yarn cards are pulled out, you might get stacks of the same hue, stacks of yellows and stacks of oranges, and you take the whole stack. You could choose to take the whole stack. Or
you could have only taken one.
Or you could have just taken one. Or you could, although I think it's better to get the stack.
I didn't see
because
any
you could
reason
always
to not
trade
take
that.
The stack.
Yeah, you take the stack, and at least that gets you cards closer to picking up a community card.
Yeah.
But then, like, you're like, okay, on my next turn, I'm gonna pick up that rainbow card. Oops! All of the cards in the store get thrown away and restocked with brand new yarn, and the rainbow cards sometimes don't come out. But that's just me griping.
They're wild cards.
They're wild cards. And that's just me griping because I didn't use the wild... Because
she discarded her
wild cards
before we knew the value. Understand. I didn't either until... So one of the community cards we got were 2 wild colors. And to me, like, when I saw the rainbow, I was like, oh, that's probably rainbow yarn for a project.
Like a variegated skein of rainbow yarn.
Yeah.
But then I read wild, and I'm like, I understood that to be, oh, I can use this for anything I want. And it finally connected. Yeah. Yes, yeah. Totally Uno.
Yep.
There are no draw 2s in this game because that would only benefit you.
Well, there kind of was a stash 2, actually. It wasn't a draw 2, but some of you guys had a couple of you had community cards where you could use...
Yeah, 2 wild.
2 wild. They were worth 2. One card was worth 2 wild cards,
yeah, that was cool.
Which have been super helpful on those really
yardage.
That's how I got my Ursa started.
Nice.
Yeah.
So overall, I think it was fun. I would definitely want to play it again, but
let's see what's in our fake hands. Do you want to go around and share what's in the fake
So what patterns did you get, Karin?
Okay. So I have three patterns. One of them is the Severine cardigan by Vanessa Smith.
Oh, I knitted that.
Yeah,
in the game, not in real life.
In the game.
I would knit it in real life.
I would. I think I would.
Is it mostly stockinette though? The ribbing looks like the
and wide ribbing. It reminds me. Didn't you teach a class on a cardigan? It was like it curves back from the hips. It
reminds me a little bit of
that one that has a really. The instructions were not easy.
Are you talking about abalone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a recipe.
Okay, it reminds me of abalone, but only not being a recipe. I've got Ladybug by Nora Gone, which...
Oh, I had that in the game too.
I love that one.
It's really cute.
It is cute. I was like, where's the Ladybug? Oh yeah, it's upside down. I see it now.
So that's a 4-week knit with 3 hanks of yarn.
How is that?
Worth
okay, but
15 points.
How is anything...
I mean, it's only...
4
weeks.
Okay, but how is anything from Nora
But
Gone?
I think I had other things that were...
Nora Gone a 4-week?
Well, it doesn't have sleeves.
Weren't your socks a 3-week for 15 points or something like that? So that didn't make... And it took 2 hanks of yarn. So, like, the hardness of those 2 tasks is not equal.
Yeah.
Okay, this is... Looks like...
I wonder if the colors they called for were more easily...
Oh, maybe.
More common?
Like, maybe there's more pink cards or whatever.
Yeah. Well, look at this one. This is looks like a brioche 2-color shawl with...
Rebel.
With 2 skein... Or is it 2 skeins or 2 colors?
2 colors. It's a white and a blue.
1 skein
But
of
is
each.
it just 1 skein? Okay, 1 skein of each.
Yeah.
But it's only worth 15 points. But it's brioche with increases and decreases. So...
But it's 5 weeks.
But like,
I know, but that's the point. 5 weeks for only 15.
Yeah, but think about how many turns it takes to collect the yarn. You're losing weeks in waiting for the yarn to accumulate. So that one was only 2 skeins, so you're saving a couple weeks.
See, that one
it.
makes sense to me because it was only 2 skeins, so you don't have to. It didn't. I played that one. It didn't take me long to get.
Okay, but this is 5 skeins. The Severine cardigan was 5 skeins
in 5 weeks.
But also, they're
only 5 points more then. Oh, but they're solid.
Well, no, they're all the same color. So it's easy to pick up a stack of like 3 blue ones or whatever. Whereas collecting multiple colors.
The game really, like, if you're not restocking the store very much, gets a little stagnant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There were lots of times where like, okay, this is like in real life. This yarn's getting old. I want new yarn.
Yeah.
So,
So what patterns did you get in?
Yeah.
I got Parallelo by Woolly Wormhead.
Cute.
Oh, that's cute.
It's a really cute hat. It looks like it's knit side to side. So it's 10. This one makes sense to me. 10 points, 2 skeins, 2 weeks. I want to talk about it. VJ by Christina Dene, which is the cutest. Have you guys? Anybody?
I knitted that in the game.
So
in real life?
the game.
In the game.
Oh, in the game.
But I could see any of us knitting this in real life.
That's a
it's
thing.
a cute little open cardigan with a very wide ribbed band.
There are a lot of really cute patterns. I totally want to add this to. I want to start
My
making
only
these.
curiosity, I want to look at that on Ravelry. See, I think it'd be super fun to go through all these patterns and look on them on Ravelry. The VJ, I'm wondering how it stays on your shoulders because I don't know if it's well balanced. And then Windrow by Bristol Ivy, which is a really pretty brioche. And Karin actually put together two pretty yarns when she played this in the game. It calls for 2 oranges, and she chose 2 oranges that would
actually play
really
well together.
Pretty. Like a light and a dark, but they were both kind of middle.
And
tones.
I would go around. I would do 1 round each and blend them.
Yeah.
So that it wasn't
it's brioche.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
It would have been perfect.
It would have been a 2-color brioche.
Because it looks like it's a 1-color.
It's a 1-color brioche, but I would have done it as a 2-color with complementary.
Yeah. So Windrow, do a complementary colors. These are pretty.
Wait a minute. I want to look that up because what weight yarn is that?
Oh, I don't know.
Because remember those 2 skeins that you dyed?
Yeah, and I also have...
And that you gave me because you didn't like it, but it's not mine now. So
yeah, they're yours. They are sure yours. I can't wait to see what you make with them because I'm gonna knit a whole sweater out of that yarn.
This is great about the game because right now I'm looking up a pattern because I think I want to do it.
So what was the most amount of points that you saw on a pattern?
I think I saw
25 for a 7 week.
25 is
There's
the biggest
not that many
one,
7-week patterns.
So I got one. I got Pretty Things by Lavanya Patricella, which is like a big brioche cable-y thing.
Can you see?
It takes 4, 5, 6, 7 skeins of yarn altogether. And
how many colors?
7 weeks. 2 colors.
Well, see, I would never finish that.
I had a 6-week one that was 25, and it took 5 skeins, all different colors.
Yeah, see, that's where the challenge comes in.
So it's hard to find one of each of 5 different colors.
Yes, that is. But that's where you're wild. I realized you can only pull 1 wild, but if you have something like that that's going to pay off pretty good, to play it early and just pull wilds from the game board would be worth your wild.
Yeah. I got that one, Pretty Things. I got Zweig by Caitlin Hunter.
Ooh, where's the Dwayne?
And I got Druid Circle by Chanel Wu, which I just realized I knitted. She's the one that designed those There and Back Again socks. I like her. That's like a pretty colorwork yoke pullover, which is like right up my alley. It's really cute.
I'm not in love with the contrast in the pattern.
Ta-da!
What do you mean?
Like maybe I need to look closer at the picture.
It looks like 3 colors.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
The green and the purple are close.
So then you also get yarn cards.
Which is a huge stack of yarn cards.
Yeah, you get 5 of them. Oh, I got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But
that's okay.
So each of them is a color, and it's assigned a color to like that it represents. Some of them, I think, their definitions are a little loose as to like what color it is.
They chose. I know. There's one that was like so green, and it was listed as a yellow.
Yeah.
And then like the ones that
like that one's got so much of a light background, they could have called that white, and I would have been like, okay, that's fine.
Yep. And it's a purple.
So what yarn did you get, Karin?
I got
or like what dyers did you get?
Okay, I got Lavender Loon Yarn Company.
Oh, I have one of those.
It's a really neat multi.
I'm gonna have to shop that.
Yeah. Manic Pixie Dream Girl by Bitter Buffalo Fiberworks.
See, never heard of them.
And it is a really it's a pixie green base with lots of little speckles on top of it.
Those speckles are so pretty.
I got Soho by Barnyard Knits. Have you guys heard of Barnyard?
I want that yarn though. When it came up in the game, I'm like, I want it. I want you bad.
It's lots of good purple, and it's okay. So the first one was the Lavender
scissors?
Loon.
Yes, I'm not going to cut fabric. I'm going to cut a very easy to tear yarn.
Just because you can.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, I'm not going to cut fabric. I'm going to cut paper. And be like,
what kind of animal do you take me for? I'm storming out now.
I'm like, well, you would tease me about that.
I wouldn't even.
Oh, okay.
So now we know where my edge is.
Okay.
One of them.
Scissors.
Well, making jokes about tormenting nice scissors.
Sorry, I misjudged you.
Thank you.
After all this time, by A Homespun House.
That's like perfect. After all this time, you would
then We will never be royals.
That color is so
by
pretty.
Bad Amy Knits.
I have to buy that for Kevin.
It is a super vibrant.
That's a good color.
Purple blue.
He doesn't
like
want
an
anything
electric
out of yarn,
purple.
But I
blue.
have to buy that.
I took out one because I had too many. But I have 2 purples here. One is called Mauve Berry by Adelaide Cottage. I've never heard of them, but that's a beautiful purple. And Arabian Nights by Hawari Bazaar. I've also never heard of them, but that is a pretty color.
That's gorgeous.
Lavender by The Bay by Cat Sandwich.
Love Cat Sandwich.
That's my favorite picture in the whole game that we saw.
She's got great photography. Brick Dust by Ritual Dyes. Ooh. And my favorite that I saw in the game, Raw Honey by the same Lavender Loon. I'm going to have to look that up.
Lavender
That's
Loon.
a gorgeous golden yellowy color.
I got
that golden honey. I just want
Raw
that.
Honey.
Raw honey.
Poppies by Woolberry Fiber, and that's that one that's got like a real light background but some rich berry and purple and gold.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
It's very pretty. Voodoo number 2 by Bad Amy. So her colors are real pretty.
Oh yeah.
Bubble Tea by Tilting Planet. Gumdrop Buttons by Nomadic Yarns. And This Is It by Desert Vista Dye Works. I think the Bubble Tea by Tilting Planet is my favorite.
That one's really cute.
It's a white with a soft pink and a soft mint and like a black color.
Lavender
Loon.
Loon.
I really like it.
So when I looked up Lavender Loon on Ravelry, they label themselves Funky Yarn in the Woods. I like that.
Do we need to take a break for something else?
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about the things I finished.
Okay, what'd you finish, Anne?
So I'm not going to start with this.
Okay.
Because she wants to weave in the ends.
I have one. I'm not even weaving in. I'm just tidying up my I-cord. I'm doing a class of custom peasant tops, and I'll have to look up the tutorial, but I found it on Pinterest and it's very good. You draft your pattern to your personal measurements, and it's a very simple style peasant top. And once you get it drafted, it takes about a half hour to make it. It's a casing at the top, a casing at the arms. The pattern is for like a short sleeve. I did 3 sleeves and 3 fabrics. I did a short sleeve out of quilter's cotton, a long sleeve out of a rayon, and a mid-length sleeve out of a knit. And I have like a lot of ideas about how to play off that base. Like you could easily add a gathered skirt to shorten the bodice, add a gathered skirt and pockets. Mm-hmm. That's pretty. Karin is distracting me by showing me. Is that who is that?
That's Raw Honey, but in a silk mohair base. Sorry.
I finished 5 Baker's Twine
Mm-hmm.
washcloths. And as of this moment, I am cutting the last thread. I finished starting.
She banged out a sweater in a month.
I banged out a sweater in a week. I started the sleeves on this maybe last Tuesday.
Sure.
Wow.
That sounds
maybe
right.
last Wednesday. I'm making 2, but this one was winning.
That is such an Anne sweater.
So it's Furosode.
Mm-hmm.
The color number is 27. Furosode is a chunky Noro that is, this colorway is red, blue, navy, green, sky blue, gray, and black.
And like a little bit of lime.
Yep.
And the red is like really bright orangey red.
It's like a neon. It's a neon.
It's a good red.
Neon coral.
Would you look at that? And it's got pockets.
So,
it looks like a very cozy robe.
I love this. Yeah.
But like a fashionable robe.
Fashionably.
Yeah.
So I'd wear my silk pajamas out. And
sure.
So the pattern has patch pockets, but I couldn't figure how that would look in this yarn, and it would disrupt the bodice too much. So I put in.
Smart.
What kind of pocket is this?
Like an inset pocket?
It's an
or
inset pocket. It's, yeah. I don't know.
It's not an afterthought. Yeah.
It's not an afterthought. I did it the same way that the Comfort Zone is done.
Yeah.
And the thing that was taking a long time right now that you guys kindly allowed me to complete
forever
is, I love I-cord bind off for a ribbing. So I just did the whole edging of the ribbing. This sweater goes past my butt by about 4 inches. Mm-hmm. I want to say it's probably 35 inches long. because
That's great.
So when I sat with Katie and Karin,
it's almost coat length.
I like sweaters like that because you can wear them over like leggings and stuff, and it covers up your butt. Like you get a little more coverage. She's going to the mirror to look at herself.
I'm gonna wear the sweater all the time.
She's gonna wear the sweater all the time.
You guys are gonna
Swear
get
at the
real
sweater.
sick of looking at it.
It goes with everything.
It does. It's everything I own. I'm wearing a black dress right now, and it goes with this, and my shoes go with
Oh,
this.
it's perfect.
Oh,
I want to make one of those.
It took less than a week.
How much yardage do you think you'd use? Did you track that?
Well, I had 7 skeins of Furesode, and I used probably 6.5 from. Oh wait, maybe not even because I have
Maybe
almost
6.
half.
150 meters. Okay.
So that was 1,050 meters. So I probably used about that. I don't know. Let's weigh it. I like to know exactly.
You used, let's say 6, so that's like roughly 1,000 yards.
Yeah. And
That's not bad.
the other one I am making a smaller size for reasons that I'll share another time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only the 24th right now on the day that we're recording.
Mm-hmm.
So I very well, because I finished the sleeves on each one in about a night and a half. Because like one night I got most of the way done with one set of sleeves, finished them the next night, started the next.
So both sleeves in a night and a half?
In 3 nights of knitting.
Okay.
For 2
a night and a half
sets
per
of sleeves.
sleeve. Got it.
And then when I sat with Katie and Karin yesterday at lunch, I had about 8 inches of the body done.
Mm-hmm.
And as of yesterday afternoon, I finished that 8 inches, did the pockets, did the yoke.
Wow.
Yeah, I tried to start them in the same. I don't care about matching Noro exactly, but if you start the 2 balls in the same-ish place, you get a nice
it looks good
result.
enough that it's not like distracting or anything, you know?
Exactly. And I tried to start each ball where the other one ended.
But with that, it doesn't even matter. You wouldn't know.
No, but it made me feel okay.
That's good.
Yeah. So I'm really happy. Thanks for waiting for me to talk about that.
You're welcome. Well,
the other one will be finished soon. Okay, obsessions.
Yeah. Who wants to go first? What are you obsessed with? And you said you were very excited about your obsession.
I'm really excited about it. So I do podcasts in fits and starts of what I'm listening to.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm way into audiobooks. Sometimes I just feel like music. Sometimes I allow myself to listen to too much news. So the podcast I am very, very, very excited about right now is LeVar Burton Reads.
Oh, it's just like reading Rainbow.
It is. That's how he talks about, like, how he explains what he's doing. And the first one is like, I know a lot of millennials, their biggest dream is for me to read them a bedtime story. So take a deep breath and let's get started. And the first book is has a little nod to Oxnard.
Aww.
Actually, I think they mean Ventura.
Why? Oh, why?
You'll if you feel like you would like to hear LeVar Burton read you a story, just start on the first one. It's an interesting little science fiction story. And you'll see. I think he's actually even talking about Ventura.
Okay.
He doesn't mention Ventura. He mentions Oxnard,
But you think he's actually means Ventura?
yeah, because it's like a fab house by the sea in a city a little north of Oxnard.
Okay.
Because Oxnard would be the more known place.
Really?
Than Ventura.
Yeah,
I don't
right?
know. Like that's what the author chose to put in there. So that's my obsession.
Okay.
LeVar Burton Reads, and it's really good.
That sounds like something I might want to listen to.
And it's just a short story. Some of them take 2 goes, and some are 1 episode.
Cool. Mine is a designer. She's a digital artist, and if you are on the knitting Instagram community, you probably know Shelly Can.
Oh, I love her stuff.
So
I'm obsessed with her, with all of her enamel pins.
Yeah, so she makes enamel pins, and I think she probably also does
T-shirts, bags, a little bit, everything. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I think she mostly does pins, and right now, well, for Valentine's Day, I'm going to say this even though they are sold out, but for Valentine's Day, she released a collection called the Go Love Yourself, I think is what it's called. And it was a collaboration with her and 3 designers. And the enamel pins that she's selling, which one of them I bought, each one features the designer wearing one of her designs. Oh. So one of them is Jackie, I don't know how to say her last name. Slick.
Yeah. I love her patterns.
So one of them is Jackie, and she's wearing Ursa, the pattern I talked about before. So that's her in her little sweater.
Yes.
And she looks so happy in her little sweater. So that's the one I bought.
Yeah.
I had to stop myself from buying all of them because I really liked all of them. The other is Jessie, which you know I love Jessie May, wearing one of her Ripple crop tops. But look at how fabulous she is in her little pink sweater.
I love it.
She's so cute. And then the third one is Shay Johnson, I think is her last name. Yeah, Shay Johnson, wearing her As If tee. And she looks super cute in her little sweater. And so I had to stop myself from buying all the pins, but I bought one of them.
3.
I know. But she also released for free phone wallpapers and like digital valentines, so you can send them to your friends and stuff.
Something, but I don't know if it went through. Maybe maybe what I wanted was sold out before I could decide.
I don't know.
I got the wallpaper.
Yeah, so she has each one of her designs she has as a free wallpaper, and they say all bodies are knit worthy, all bodies are make worthy, so you can choose which one you like. But they're so cute, and the little girls look so cute, and it just makes me so happy. So I have Jackie in her Ursa sweater as my phone background, and she's also the sweater that I bought because I am knitting that sweater, which I thought was cool. I tried to explain to James why I thought it was cool. So I'm like, they're wearing their sweaters, and like, I know those patterns, and he was like, okay. He wasn't excited as I was, but
I'm trying to like think of an equivalent of things I know he's into.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's my obsession right now. They're still on her website, so you can go and get the free downloads. I don't know if I'm assuming this was like a limited run thing, so.
They're very cute.
They're so cute. Karin, what's your obsession?
I'm trying to think if I've been so busy working, I haven't had a chance to really obsess about much, except part of my work is photo editing for the pictures I take for my patterns. And I was really, really blessed at Christmas time to get a really nice drawing mat.
Like a drawing tablet?
It's a drawing tablet, but it's like 15.5 inches. It is huge. And it has a screen that mirrors, it's actually bigger than my laptop. It mirrors a laptop, but it's bigger than the laptop surface. And at first, it took a while for me to stop looking at the laptop and look at the screen in front of me, the really big screen. And then I'm like, oh, it's so big. And look, I can do this shade and I can do that shade. I don't know. So it just creative. I use the different, what they call actions to kind of, I literally am painting shades and tones onto the photos and painting them on and painting them off. So cool. And I guess I binged Lock and Key.
That was so good.
So good. Oh, you finished it?
Yeah, we finished last night.
Oh, I can't wait for the next. I hope they set it up for another season.
Oh my gosh, it's
gonna be so good.
It's a new Netflix show with this family moving. It's like Stranger Things meets Haunting of Hill House meets the clock with the house with the clock in its walls meets Goosebumps.
Huh.
I mean, it's your obsession. So
yeah, I really like sci-fi. It was always that house that they live in is like this old Victorian mansion out in the country kind of farmhouse thing.
It's not a farmhouse.
It's not a farmhouse. That's no, but it has every kind of thing that you want, like doors that go to magical weird places, and bookshelves. Or does it have the bookshelves? It has. Oh yeah,
it's got a lot.
It's got a lot of things. Like
you should just watch it.
Yeah.
Lock and Key.
Yeah, Locke. Their last name is Locke, and they have moved into Key House. It's known as Key House, which I wish they had told more of the story. Is why does the rest of the town know it as Key House? But maybe
that's what they all know it as too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the house with all the keys.
I mean, we get almost no backstory.
Nope.
It's all mystery and intrigue.
But that's fodder for the next season.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah. It.
Well, good episode, guys.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something and I don't remember what it was. Oh, book club. When this episode comes out, it will be early March, which means you have a couple weeks to pick up a book and read along with us if you want. We are going to be discussing The Tattooist of Auschwitz, and that episode will come out mid-March. I don't remember the date offhand, but it'll be the third Monday of the month. And I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're doing a event for March. Our March focus is
community.
So we're doing a community event in March. All the information's on our website, but basically we're pairing with a local women's shelter to provide them with some donated items. So you can help by either making things that you want to donate, or we're also going to be going down to the shelter later in the month to teach a knitting class.
They have different educational resources that they do with the ladies. Gives them a chance to learn something without their children, so they can focus. And so we're
also taking volunteers for that. So if you want to come with us and help us teach, we're looking for volunteers. But all the information's on our website on the events page. You should get an email about it too. So
spots are limited.
So if you're interested, check your email and email us, and we'll keep you posted when the spots fill up.
And other than that, that is all we have to talk about.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.